Step one, it's going to be a couple 12 mils. I think I still have 12 mil out. Take it back. New ones are going to be 12s. The old ones are going to be 13. $13 I like to just give it a little pop. Going across. Going across. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now before I take the hat completely off, what I'm going to do is going to go in the bolt box down below. I'm going to take a little guy. Yes, this is just a pick. I'm going to make a little X. And the reason being, because I want to know that this side is the side with this, with the little air valve. The reason why I want to know that is because this has to go back in the way that came out. And it's always better to be safe than sorry. And yes, I understand that you could say, oh, well, it's the side with these guys that are pointing upwards, right? Think of it that way. This is top, these are pointed up. It's another way of thinking about it. But I just like to be extra safe. We're going to start by marking the midpoint of this, which I'm actually going to put this guy back on there and then just make a little dot so then we know the middle. Once we have the middle, we're going to go 12 mil from either side, or 24 millimeters in total, and we're going to notch it down 14 millimeters. Now in the Berg Peaks instructions, they say go down 20 mil to give you an idea of 20 millimeters. And then this would be 20 millimeters down, roughly. That is a large amount of material. So I want to move as little material as possible. I want to say it'd be somewhere right around there for the 20 mil depth. I found 14 millimeters to be enough to not only clear the airline, this guy, but to this airline here, but to be able to pivot it in with the puck on top and get it to seal down nice and have a gap underneath. Now 14 mil, significantly less, right? 25% less. It's going just above this crease here, right above this line. To do that, we're going to take, I have an air version. You do pneumatic, you do electric, but burr bit. Essentially, don't know if you're going to be able to see that in the lighting there. Let me move you. We're going to be taking this bit, which, or any of these. Now this is relatively cheap bit off of the wonderful world of Amazon, S-Worker. You can also use Dremel. Has these guys, the Easy Lock bits. This is from metal, essentially a little grinding wheel. I prefer the little cutoff wheels. I want to say these are little cutoff wheels. Now with the cutoff wheels, what you can do is make your marks, cut down, so then you have an idea of how much material you actually need to move, and then from there you'll have your box set up and you can kind of Dremel it out. I'm going to get started on that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you guys the actual notching process. I found, at least with these burr bits, if you use a bit of oil, I'm just using the 3-in-1 multi-purpose oil, a couple of drops, work your way through till you hear a sound change, a couple of drops, work your way through. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next hour or so. Make it look a little bit nice as we go. Now, what we ended up doing, finishing out the notching. So we have just enough room to have that go all the way down with the piece for this guy once it's offset by the bushing. From there down, we have 14 mil, which is what I did on the other one, so it should be more than enough to offset. What we're going to do is check. Now I already cleaned off this surface with Scotch-Brite and inside of the actual channel. Loop that over the top like so. Take this guy, measure out inside of here. Hang on. So now we have done this correctly. That should be fairly close to this guy. Perfect. So now the difference, right now we're at 28 and a half. Bring it down to there. 26. So we should have roughly 3 mil between the bottom surface here. Make sure you guys can see it. Bottom surface here to this channel should be roughly 2.5 mil, maybe 3 mil. What we're going to do now, I'll leave that in the bag, then nice and clean. We're going to clean off all the surface inside of here. You can kind of see the buildup around where the seal was, right in here. Hang on, I'm sure you guys can see it. So all of this stuff where the seal contacts, we're going to clean off, make sure we have a nice clean surface for that. Start a little bit heavier and then work our way down. Easy peasy. And I should say, now, this is me having a pet peeve. When you're working on stuff like this, where it has to seal, any kind of O-ring, and you're using Scotch-Brite, you don't want to go against it. So you want to do parallel, not perpendicular. And does it make a difference? Probably not. But if I go this way, you can see all the little marks, right? They're in line with the seal, which means if I go this way and the seal's here and the line goes this way, there's a chance there's an air pocket or a little tiny space. And I think it's more so in line for oil. I don't necessarily think it's going to create that big of an issue for air. It's not like these things have like 700 psi or something ridiculous in them. But we want to keep that in mind anytime we're cleaning up a surface or a mating surface. Just want to go in line with it. Get it cleaned up as much as we can. And then step down. So that was one. Take a bit of red. I had a knife already. A little bit of red. And repeat. Give a little blowout. Nice. There you go. That, to me, is nice and prepped. Now, that's not going to bother me at all. What I'm going to do now, a little wet wipe, clean up my hands. Because now we're going to handle the seals. Seals are very important. This surface is clean. That surface is clean. The little channel's clean. And that's going to be good enough. Go there for right now. We're gonna take this little guy. Open this up. In a perfect world, what you're gonna have is two separate areas for assembly and the actual cutting of that piece, because you want no little metal fragments anywhere near this gasket or on the inside of the shock. So when you go to do this, I would move this to a different location, cover it nicely, and then keep these guys sealed as you're chipping away at it. Now what I'm going to do, turn my little grease gun here around. First batch can go away. There we go. That's just going to get all nice and neat on top of there. And if you call in and say, oh, you could do that in a cleaner way, I understand that. But I'm quite practical as a human, and could care less, because I don't mind a little bit of grease. Nice. So you get a good amount of grease on either side. And go in there. One thing that I will say makes life a little bit easier, which I don't think I recorded on any of the other ones. We're gonna move this out. Get a clear shot of that. I like to put Bergs towards the actual airline, and then I'm gonna take another dollop. Here's a trick. You're putting this cap here, it's gonna want to fall off. Ooh. No fuzzies on you. Thank you. A little bit there. A little bit there. A little dollop. Ain't gonna hurt nothing sitting off to the side like that. Ta-da! Okay. Now what we're gonna do, grab our hardware, 1 and 2. So that little final touch. Take our time, nice and easy. Oh. Hang on, there we go. I would rather it be a little bit on the tighter side. And on the looser side here. Hang on. Let's see. There you go. That one does not like that home, so this one's gonna go in here. Easy peasy. Four. 1. 2. 3. 4. Okay. Here you go. So you can kind of see there's your gap, which to me is plenty. I want to leave as much material here as possible. Porsche, who does quite a bit of testing, I'm assuming, said, yeah, these are going to be our strut tops. Yeah, it needs that much material. Yeah, there only needs to be an opening here and on the other side, so then they're reversible or whatever else. Maybe that's just how the molding was. Casting. And so the less I can remove from that casting, the better. That seems to be the minimum. And now this is ready to go back into the car. So what I'm going to do, grab a bit of anti-seize for top bolts. Might clean this up a little bit, and then it'll go back in. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are going to be 16s, 18 at the bottom. I left this shield on. I might take this off, just clean up underneath here a little bit, make sure that nothing too crazy is going on while I have this out, because it's not going to be that bad. And actually, fuck it. Should be a lot of dirt in there and crap. Yeah. So this will go back onto the car, and then yeah, good to go. This is going to be the level, arm level bit, arrow up. I'm going to see which side I feel more comfortable with the clip on. I think on the driver's side it was closest to the nut, so I tightened down the actual nut to the linkage, then slotted the washer and the clip over top of that. But yeah, and if you're looking at the instructions for these, yeah, they have a different design. They have just a little wedge, so I think Bergs went back and decided to make this. I don't know why it's concave. It looks to be purposely concave, but that's fine. And then after that, that's back on, then we'll get to these guys. These are the drops for the rear subframe. Okay, cheers.